My icebreaker, and it's aptly called Defining the Problem. A brilliant man once said a long time ago that if given an hour to solve the world problems, he would spend 55 minutes defining the problem. Well, who might argue with brilliance? So in that vein, in doing my icebreaker tonight, I thought I would first define what an icebreaker is and define the problems inherent in trying to introduce oneself to people who have never met or known that person. So first off, does anybody here know what an icebreaker is? I mean, we all know what it is, but do you know where it comes from, what it means? Why is it we use icebreaker as a term to describe introducing oneself to another person? I certainly didn't know, so I, like my forefathers and forefathers before them, had a question. I Googled it. And what I got was essentially, it comes back from the older days when merchants generally were marine merchants, and they would spend literally weeks on the water because of the ice. They couldn't get inland. They were inland for literally weeks, couldn't get in, and it became a common phrase that to do business you had to break the ice. Essentially, that's where it came from. I'm sure it makes sense now that I tell you the backstory, but on the surface, a term like breaking the ice really doesn't make as much. It makes really as little sense as being a dead horse means talking about yourself too much. And don't get me started on skinning the cat, because I don't know what that means. So anyway, to introduce myself, I think you have the same problems. We all have same problems as the catchphrase "breaking the ice." It's out of context, so when you just try to discuss yourself, everything you say it's just literally a fact, and it's really out of context. You don't know, it tells you a little bit about a person, but it doesn't tell you who that person is. It's hard for me to introduce to you Tony Hatcher, because not unlike everybody here, we all have masks that we wear. Where some of us are mothers, some of us are fathers, some of us are sisters, we're brothers, we're co-workers, we're classmates, we're friends, and we're lovers. We fit so many masks that it's amazing to me that we can keep it all straight in our heads, let alone try to reciprocate that to other people that try to describe who we are. I could take the rest of this speech to try to tell you that I was the second youngest born of a family of 11. I was born here in North Sydney, raised and bred. I could tell you that I shocked the faculty of then Catholic school St. Mary's by being the first elementary school student, and I think only, to sport a tattoo. And that's a speech for another time. I'm not going to get into that. I can tell you I spent 6.5 years as a pipe fitter, and after 1994 and an injury-riddled 1994, realized it's probably safer for me to sit behind a desk. So I segued into a career into accounting. I could tell you that I have a bachelor's degree in business administration, and I could tell you that I'm a thesis short of my MBA. Procrastination is a lifestyle for me, apparently. I could tell you that I am now the accountant of a rail concern in Sydney, Nova Scotia, and I'm also supervisor down at the International Pier, same company. I could tell you that I have 2 wonderful children. I have a beautiful girlfriend. I'd like the record show that I point to Roxanne for every night. Just in case. I can tell you I enjoy music, movies, and as crazy as it may sound, yes, I enjoy comic book literature. But really, that doesn't tell you who I am. It may, in some cases, tell you what I am. It may tell you where I've been and what I've accomplished. But really, it doesn't tell you what I am, because what I am, just like everybody else here, is far more complicated than that. But I do have a theory. Well, it's actually not my theory. It's a compilation of other people's theories that I've sort of put together. Abraham Maslow, an American psychiatrist, Jean Piaget, who's actually a philosopher, and J. Michael Straczynski, who's actually a comic book writer. I'm diverse and a little quirky, actually. But anyway, in my theory, I think in everybody's lifetime, we have what I like to call it moments. And an it moment, the easiest way to understand if you've had that it moment is the vividness of the memory. It's as vivid in your memory now as it was way back when, and whether it's a worldly it moment or an internally generated it moment, I think it's the compilation of these it moments that make us who we are, or at least tell us who we're going to become. 911 would be a worldly it moment that everybody really remembers, because they remember life before that moment and they remember life after that moment, and it's a very vivid memory. But I think it's the internally generated it moments that really tell a person who you are and what you're going to become. On May 1990, I became a father of a young daughter. She was born, but she was a very sick little girl, very close to death, actually. And I remember to this day, it's a very vivid memory of my head being propped up against her incubator and watching her struggle to breathe, actually. I distinctly remember how everything up to that point in my life had seemed to be so insurmountable, so important. And everything after that, it just seemed like everything was so immaterial at that point. It was a turning point for me, there's no doubt in my mind. Growing up, I was told that my daughter would never graduate with kids her age, which she did. I was told that she would be physically compromised for the rest of her life, as she won silver medals in dance when she was 15 years old. And I was told she would have to be taken care of for 24 hours a day for the rest of her life, as she sits home contemplating a trip to Calgary to live. Tony was bombarded with negativity, but Tony, the father, didn't believe any of it. And I still, to this day, peer through the glass and look at my daughter and worry about her, even at the age of 19 years old. That's never going to change. Like a brilliant man once proposed, that being Albert Einstein, instead of talking about myself, I tried to define the problem of what it is that makes a person that person. So, Madam President, fellow Toastmasters, my name is Tony Hatcher, and I'm Jessica's dad. My musical tastes will change. Where I live may change. What I do for a living may change. My friends, my neighbors, all these they're really pictures, snapshots of who I am today. But I will always be Jessica's dad. I'm much more than that, as we all are, but that's a very vital component of what I am today. And to discuss or to introduce you to Tony Hatcher and everything that Tony Hatcher is takes far too much time, and I seem to have run out of mine.
Oh,